Welcome one, welcome all to DeFi Crypto and Airdrops. I am Mike, aka Veteran Crypto, and this is Jeff, aka the Blockchain Report. How's it going tonight, brother?
Doing great, man. Excited for today's episode. I don't know, a lot going on, a lot of opportunities out there. I know the markets have been kind of bleeding out, but have no fear. If you've been in DeFi, you should be earning. And
Yep, yep.
but we'll
It's
get
the
into
beauty
that.
of DeFi.
Yep. How are you doing? I know you got a nice little fun project that you've been tackling today or this weekend.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just it never ends. As most of you know, I built my own cabinet, up here in the woods, and so I mean, it just seems like every time I turn around, there's another project to do. Right now I'm caulking the floors, the between the boards. I milled all the wood myself, me and my buddy, and so it's all solid wood floors. But yeah, just doing that, and then I
Hmm.
got to sand them back down and reseal them. So that's my little weekend project. But yeah, I've been delving around. You can see on the screen, I've been delving around, and I'm just tired of my plume pool being out of range. I have a full range pool, but it doesn't earn like my big one does. So I figured I'd show live. A lot of people asking how to get into these pools and kind of the steps and stuff like that. So I figured just right off the bat, I'll do this real quick. But go ahead and actually, you know what? I'll do this first, and then we'll do socials.
Sounds good.
So let's see. So right here, you can see I'm on Uniswap. I went to explore. Up here on top, I just select Plume. It brings me to here, scroll down, go to pools, and you can see. So, you got your V3 and your V4. I am going to go for because I just don't like these V4s where they don't have 250K and but the APR, good God.
See, I'm in the V4. Yeah. And I
Which
was kind
one?
of concerned about that. The Plume USDC
And with the 250
or let me
8%
get
or the ETH or the USDC?
the
All right,
Plume
I'll do the
USDC
USDC.
V4. Yeah.
All right. All right, we'll do it. All right. So I selected it, and then just up here, I actually need to swap real quick because I'm all in on Plume. So
I wish
let's
Uniswap would have that feature where you could just
yeah, just
deposit and it would
deposit
split
it,
it.
and then it automatically does it.
Hmm.
Absolutely. All right. So let's do. Oh hell no! Fucking not 5% fucking slippage. What are you
Ooh,
freaking
no.
high?
Yeah,
Yeah, make sure you're
always
checking
check your
stuff.
slippage.
Yeah, yeah, they'll scam the shit out of you. So yeah,
Hmm.
right here, just make sure that I always like using 0.25. That's just me. So let's say let's do 1100 or 11,000, excuse me. Ooh, no, easy there, killer. All right, 11,000. All right. So that will give us $1,087 in USDC, plus the $60 I got in there, and then all right. So let's review this. We got our 0.25% slippage. Our network cost is 31 cents, and a fee in ETH of 2.73. All right. So let's go ahead and sign and swap it.
Yeah, usually the default is like a 0.5% on the slippage.
Yeah, yeah. And hey, and chat, we'll get to the chat here in a second. I'm just staying focused on this because I don't want to mess anything up. All right.
Yeah,
All right. So just got that done. All right. So now I can add liquidity.
yeah, Chris, we'll
Oh,
get to your KTA question for sure because I got some interest in that as well.
yeah. Yeah. We'll definitely get that. sorry. It said the swap failed. I must have closed that window too quickly. All right. So review. Looks like everything's good.
I mean, that's a crazy pump that it had. Whew.
Come on. All right. There we go. It went through. So now you can see that I got 12,254 Plume and about 1140 USDC. So we're going to add liquidity to the Plume USDC pool. Continue. You can see it's a V4 position. I'm going to do a custom range. Um,
Ugly.
yeah,
Interface is
let
ugly.
me bear with me. I'm gonna go to DEX Screener real quick and look at this. So let's go here and
I still don't know what the rewards are like on the Plume mainnet. I haven't seen anything in my liquidity pool on there. So I'm not sure I want to leave Uniswap yet.
yeah, it's I'm waiting to see some deeper liquidity and some better
Hmm.
APR and stuff on, because a lot of the dexes and stuff like that haven't really launched fully. They're still building TVL. All right, so
Right.
um, shit, it is ugly. So about 12 cents here. Let me share this. So let's some lines real quick. We got looks like here about 12 cents. You can see that it was a line of support for a while that we lost. Um, I'm gonna probably put it pretty tight below. So let's do 9 cents on the downside.
Oh, you're going tighter than mine's at 8.
Is it at 8? All
Yeah.
right, I'll do 8.
Yeah, I
I'll
did
do 8.
like 8 and 15. Yeah, like 15.5.
All right, I'll do 8 and 15. That actually, I actually like that.
15.
I
Yeah.
appreciate the input. I appreciate the input. All right.
Mm.
So custom range. We got here. Let's do this. 8, and we'll just go with this 15, 14. So we'll call that good. We come down here. I'm going to do max on Plume. It's only going to use $656 because I did a smaller bottom end. So if I did
Hmm.
an equal amount, like positive, you can see up here. If
In the middle of the range. If you were in the
Yeah,
middle of
if I
the
was
range.
exactly if where the price is now, if I had an equal amount, positive and negative above and below, it would have been an equal amount of each. So I'm going to end up with, a couple $100 that I can do something else with. So we're going to
Mm.
go ahead and do this. We're going to review it. Network cost of 2. Let's go ahead and create it. $2. I'm okay with that. Thinking about it.
Hey, that's good for mainnet.
Yeah. I mean, it's the weekend, so I kind of figured why not.
Oh, nice. I got 5 Plume tokens on my spin today.
Yeah, I need to do my spin as well. Awesome. All right. So it says position created. So let's give her a little refresh.
Hippie holder said he went 9 cents, but probably should have went lower.
All
I
right.
mean, it
There
could
we go.
hold. It could hold. 9 could be
Of
lucky
course, I
as long as it
freaking
stays
start
in range.
I start a position and it dips down to fucking 0.71% APR. Motherfuckers. All right.
They're playing with you, man. Playing with my emotions.
All right. So anyway, I'm in there. Let's go ahead and do socials, and we'll roll from there.
In it to win it. All right. Let me share my screen here real quick. And yeah, we appreciate everyone for joining us today. Hope everyone's doing great out there. You can follow us live here at DeFi Crypto and Airdrops at DeFi Crypto Airdrop on YouTube every Monday and Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Well, I don't know what that is in UTC, but a lot of people seem to use UTC in the crypto space. So I know it's 7 hours ahead of where I'm at. So, but you can check out our brother channels here, Discover Crypto, my channel, The Blockchain Report, Blockchain Basement, BitLab Academy, and Vet, your channel. Did you pull it off or?
I pulled it off. I'll probably put it back up
Okay.
on. But and then we also might be having Crypto Crank. We might
Oh
be
yeah.
might be joining our crew. But we're gonna be talking to him Monday. But great guy. Talked to him today, and really good at TA.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. You need a lot of great people, great community. And you can follow Vet at Veteran4Crypto on Twitter and make sure that you're following the right accounts, Veteran4Crypto, and me at the BCR142. We will end our DeFi Crypto airdrops at the _only_ DCA. Now, we will not DM you for financial advice or asking to invest money for you. So anyone that does is a scammer. Give them the ban button and report. But don't be afraid to reach out to us if you have any questions. Oh, also, yeah, our Discord, the DeFi Crypto and Airdrops Discord. Got a lot of great channels in there. We're building out DeFi and airdrop stuff. And also the Discover Investments Group channel that has a lot more access to the Discover Crypto crew and the HIT Network team. So yeah, we got all the links and stuff down below on how to join in the description. I'll update that. I'll see if I update it throughout the right after the show. So be patient, but we'll get that to you. And let me kick it back over to you.
Yeah. Let's. I'll touch a couple of
I
things.
covered all the socials.
On our. Let's see. Let's go with this. So, as always, I like to touch on DeFi Llama, just to get an idea of what's going on. As far as what's that?
Llama.
Oh yeah, the Llama. This is just a great tool. I always like to emphasize it every episode, just because of what a powerful tool it is. If you don't have this bookmarked, highly suggest if you're in DeFi or thinking about getting into DeFi that you bookmark it. It has every bit of data or any kind of analytics that you need, that is going to tell you what's going on in the entire across every chain: Ethereum, Avalanche, Sonic, you name it, you'll find it here. So you can see, like right here, this is the overview, and this is everything. So basically all of DeFi, the total value locked, and the DEX volume is what I have turned on, and you can see. I mean, even though the markets are dumping, even though that the war in Iran, all this different stuff is going on, it's just chugging along. Prices are going down in DeFi. That's actually a good thing, because we're DCA. It doesn't matter if the market's going down. It doesn't matter if they're going sideways. It doesn't matter if they're going up. We're always earning. Those of you in DeFi know what I'm talking about. I bookmarked a couple of things. I wanted to give a shout out to Kelly Kellum over at BitLab Academy. He's one of our brother channels. Excellent TA. Has a channel that you might want to follow if you're into TA. I use it in DeFi, to find lines of support and resistance, to select my ranges. But he posted this: Chainlink, a foundational technology for the future of data infrastructure with DeFi and RWAs. Price has been coiling into a tight slingshot just in time for a breakout, as Swift and the DTCC link fee implications for all its varied integrations across Web 2 and Web 3 and blockchain. So this is just another thing that was probably that he screenshotted off of DeFi Llama, and it just shows, this is an oracle. Chainlink, Pyth, all these are oracles. And if you go over here, like I said, you can click on oracles, and I can guarantee you this is where he got this from. Yep, there it is. See, that same little graph is exactly the same one that he used over here. So again, powerful tool. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're feeling bearish on Chainlink, analytics and data are unemotional. It's ones and zeros, it's logic, it's math. Chainlink, its market share as far as oracles go is over 70% of the market for oracles is held by Chainlink. So do not get bearish on these things because price. If you watched price, everything is bearish right now. Not
Mm-hmm.
just what you're holding, everything. Arrow is probably one of the few things that pumped because of that announcement and we'll get to it here in a second, but yeah, everything is in the toilet right now. Plume. New incentives just dropped on Morpho Labs. Here's what's live. They got, for Plume, you got deposit of PUSD, they have a Morpho Vault. They have borrow PUSD, which is their stable coin, the Plume, stable coin. You can deposit that into the alpha liquidity pools. There's a bunch of stuff going on over in the Plume portal. I know Jeff, while I was down in Southern California, he ran solo on a episode, and I know that he covered the Plume portal. Huge. Stargate is now live on Plume. You can now transfer USDC, USDT, and ETH into the Plume, onto Plume, the actual chain, with zero fees from actually over 50 chains. So this is what makes Plume so powerful, is that it's going to end up being a hub. It has interoperability, cross chains with layer zero, utilizing layer zero.
Mm-hmm.
So across 50 different chains, you're going to be able to bridge liquidity across Plume to access the Plume ecosystem that's partnered with Ondo, that's partnered with over 200 different partners that are actually building dApps on the Plume network. Plume is going to be huge. I honestly
Mm-hmm.
see it's too big to not. Something major would have to happen for Plume, like a major exploit to where it's just you know not secure, like maybe a vulnerability that they can't fix. Something big would have to happen to
Yeah.
take Plume down.
Well, and,
Um,
one thing on
oh, go ahead.
that, the TJ, when we talked with TJ from Discover Crypto the other day, and he asked us how we felt about Plume
Yeah,
with that CTO passing and their co-founder, passing away a few weeks
that's right.
ago, and I said, if it were a year ago or so
Mhm.
when they were still developing, it would have crushed them,
Yeah,
but now that they've actually got their foundation built and set is, they were ready to let the bird fly out of the nest, so to speak. And, it's sad that he passed away right when they were ready to launch mainnet, but, they waited, they mourned, and then they went back at it. And, I mean, their partnerships alone are just powerful enough to keep them going. And,
well, I mean,
they're
what
they're
you're saying
past
is
that.
valid though. Because
Mm,
yeah, I mean, if they weren't like ready for mainnet launch and they weren't done and they lost somebody pivotal like that, absolutely. That
mhm,
would have made me, take pause and maybe think about, exiting. But I mean, they had a finished product. I
mhm.
mean, they have, a deep roster, somebody that can step in and, take the reins from now, from here. So anyway, that
Yeah.
very valid point. Thanks, Jeff. Plume again. Plume Network participated in the XDC network. This is new. Their accelerator program. From March to June, we worked closely with teams on the frontier of real-world asset tokenization, Ondo, and XDC. Learning, building, and expanding in the RW finance vision. So again, bullish. And there's a whole thread on this. Feel free to go and explore it. I don't want to waste everybody's time going through step by step. Aerodrome, another project we're very bullish on here on the channel. A lot of people
Mhm.
were starting to feel beat down and fudded out about Aero because went from like $2.20. We were buying it like 40, 50 cents. It went up to $2.20. Everybody was on cloud nine, and it crashed back down. And everybody was like, is it a dead project? What's going on? And if you looked at DeFi Llama and you saw the volume and you saw the TVL and you saw what was going on, again, it didn't shake me at all. It's like, yeah, it sucks that the price went down, but to me, it was a buying opportunity. So, I'm not just earning, free arrow on my arrow pools, but on my other pools, like I did it with my KTA and wrapped ETH pools. Is those thousands of dollars that I earned on KTA wrapped ETH, I was collecting in KTA and wrapped ETH, and wrapped ETH didn't take as big of a dive as the
Mm.
rest of the market when the market just recently plunged. And so I used some of my wrapped ETH and my USDC that I had, my dry powder I'd saved up to DCA into Plume and into KTA. So, that
Fuck.
is the power of DeFi. Is just
Hmm.
you're just stacking dry powder. So Aerodrome, if you didn't catch it, Coinbase made an announcement. They will be integrating DEXs. Actually, here.
Coinbase will be first. Let's start 13 years ago when Coinbase launched to make it safe and easy to store Bitcoin.
Never mind. It's 2 minutes long. Basically, in a nutshell, they're going to be they're going to be integrating the Coinbase platform, or the DEXs that are on Base into the Coinbase platform. So it's going to remove a barrier to entry, which is right now, people like me and you, we have to move our crypto from the Coinbase platform to a hot wallet or a cold wallet, and then connect to a DEX, and then jump through all the hoops like you just saw at the beginning of the show, where you got to
Mm.
swap and do all those different things to enter
Hmm.
a liquidity pool. Coinbase is actually going to integrate those DEXs directly into Coinbase and have a cleaner UX UI, user experience, user interface, to where it's going to be a lot less painful and a lot less friction for people that are new or know nothing about DeFi to be able to inject liquidity into these pools. This is going to be huge, and that is why you saw Arrow, the main DEX on Base, pump when everything else was dumping. Is people see that what this is going to do. That is why you really need to pay attention to what is going on in these markets, and and how these different offerings are being developed, because that is what is going to be part of the future financial system, are the ones that have deep connections, in that cross chain interoperability. That is what is you want to be investing in. So anyway, a little bit on Arrow, and
And if you can
again,
make it as seamless as possible for people to deposit their liquidity into these DeFi pools and stuff, it's just going to make it easier to onboard people. Because, like you said,
yeah,
the swap in between and trying to figure out how to set the ranges and stuff, regular people aren't going to do that. Like my parents wouldn't do that. They might just say, "Yeah, just put it in this wallet for me and just set a infinite range and leave it." But yeah, it's going through all the steps. There's some projects that are starting to take that into consideration and make it easier, but it's a progress.
yeah.
So
All right, so
early.
I'll do this. I'll do this last one. This is all about Arrow. I'll just these are just some really good points, and then I'll go through the chat. We'll answer some of the questions, and then I'll kick it over to Jeff, and we'll start talking about the black hole. So So yeah, I rarely say crypto projects are undervalued, but Arrow looks to be one of them. Coinbase wallet integration, bringing DEX users to all of its current 10 million users. So you have 10 million people that are on Coinbase that potentially will be injecting liquidity into
Jeez.
into DeFi now. So it combines proven tokenomics with deep liquidity incentives, scales and onboards users to Base. Again, like I just mentioned, removes those barriers to entry. They don't need to know how to use, wallets anymore. Once they make go live with this, no need for wallets. Um, is the core DEX liquidity layer doing over 50% of Base's volume? Aerodrome had the 50% of the volume on the Base network is on Aerodrome. That is how big Arrow is. I cannot stress that enough. And they have already done over $100 billion in volume so far in 2025. So, I mean, we're not even halfway through the
Fuck.
year
Whew.
and already done 100 billion in volume. And that's just people like me and you that are knowledgeable and know how to access Aerodrome. Imagine once the integration is done on Coinbase, it's going to
Yeah.
blow the lid off this thing.
And
So
they're only one
I'm
chain. Uniswap is multiple chains, and they're coming for him, man.
well, and you gotta think that all of that, all of those liquidity pools on Uniswap that are on Base, they're going to be a part of it too. So
Oh
it's not
yeah.
just Aerodrome. It's anything that, any liquidity pools that are on the Base network. So buckle up. It's about to get interesting. So it's making me feel better and better about my 4-year locked arrow that me and Ellie and a bunch of the other people in the in our little crew has been locking up arrow. I think that we might have made a really good choice. So with that, let's go through some of these questions. So
Oh
insights on
yeah. The
okay,
KTA. Yeah.
what are your insights with KTA? So I live streamed the the stress test the other day, and I want to be 100% honest. I was expecting a third reporting on it. It was pretty much the TA crew, and they were doing it on Google Cloud, and they were showing the dashboard that's on their site. So I
Hmm.
would have liked to have seen a third party verify their numbers, but they did manage to get up to if you take it for face value, they managed to get up to 16 million TPS or transactions per second. So do with that as you will. I personally am staying invested and plan on staying in my liquidity pools to stack. I see too much potential to bail now.
Hmm.
So that's what are your thoughts?
And who was it that mentioned somebody mentioned them with Aerodrome or being put on Aerodrome finance. I don't remember who it was on Twitter, but
Really?
it looked like KTA had some pretty uh, knowledgeable people talking about it. So pretty credible. I can't find the tweet right now, but and looking at the chart too. I mean, even 70 cents is a pretty good fucking uh,
Oh
zone.
no, I mean, but I mean, do you mean just KTA being on base?
They were saying something about it or being on Coinbase, maybe. Maybe
Well,
it was
well,
Coinbase.
KTA is on base network, and the liquidity pools that I'm in.
Right. I think it was Coinbase though. It
Oh,
was
okay, getting listed.
yeah, or they're pushing it to be listed on there. But fuck, I'll have to find the tweet. But I mean, and it's got a strong community, so that's always
Oh yeah,
positive
dude.
to
Don't
see.
don't get me started on the community. I was actually in there before we went live, and yeah, no, that crew is passionate. I'll leave it at that. It's like-
Yep.
so no, it's they're very very knowledgeable, and but yeah, Cherrywell, is my KTA pool still in range? Unfortunately, not. I'm quite a bit out of range now. Far enough that I'm not willing to rebalance. So I'm just gonna ride this and wait for it to come back up. I need
Man,
KTA to get back up to about I believe it was $1.05 to get these back into range. But I'm just gonna leave them. It's again, I'm not willing to lock in that big of a loss. It's about 500-600 bucks that I'd be locking in on this one pool, and then about 140 bucks on
mm,
this one, and I'm just not willing to do it. Any difference if a pool is on V3 or V4? Yes. So V3 is pretty straightforward, and V4 there is some automations to where it optimizes your earnings, and there's also another feature called hooks. I haven't used them yet because the only ones that I've seen are third party, developed by third parties, and potentially they could have malicious code in there. So if you
mm,
use them, they do some pretty cool things, but you need to make sure that you trust whoever built that hook. So I'm waiting for some sort of thing from Uniswap to where they have like maybe a verified set of hooks that you can use. Me personally, I would not use them as of right now. So that's the kind of in a
mhm.
nutshell the difference between V3 and V4. Um,
Yeah, I
going to
hope everyone's doing good on their plume spins.
yeah, I still need
I
to
got
do
some
mine.
PP today, some plume points, or
All
yesterday.
right. Yeah, getting paid. Yeah, Ellie, getting paid in Arrow every Wednesday is so nice. Absolutely. Let's see. Did anyone receive their flight school bonus yet? Um, I, I guess I could probably. I'll see if we have time at the end. I'll go see if the flight school, if this current flight school has ended and the new one is. Oh, well, actually, you know what? While Jeff is telling us about
Yeah.
black hole, then I'll look that up for you, Sean.
Well, and Ellie was responding to him. Um,
Oh, she got hers.
yeah, and she said it took maybe 2 weeks for her to get it. So I think
Well,
that
it's a
might
one
be.
month it's a 1 month thing, but it's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
hard to find out, like when it actually begins and ends. It shifts
Mm,
around. But yeah, don't worry, Sean, you'll get it. If you deposited 2,500 arrow into a single lock, or or more than 2,500, you will get the flight school bonus. Don't worry about it.
yeah, base is bullish.
Yeah. See, Ellie knows she's a subject matter expert now. With the 2,500 arrow or more, because yeah, she was just shy on her first one.
Too
Okay.
shy.
Yep. Sean, can do. I've got 4 years. Yeah, lock 2,500 in the VE Aero Maxi. All right, so you'll get the 1.25 x multiplier on your
Ooh.
flight school bonus as well. So good job, Sean. Base is bullish.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jay's gonna freaking big balls it. I'm
He's
about to
gonna
get into
degen
that
it up.
80K perfect APR pool you showed on the Discord last night. Yeah, be careful with that one. It has a hook on it. So make sure you do your research on that hook.
ETH wrap Bitcoin. Oh man.
Yeah. All right. I think that's
Yeah, see,
it.
I might jump into that Kita pool tonight just to because I was about to get in yesterday, but I wanted to wait another day, and I'm glad I did because it took a little dippy dip. So it's
Well,
looking like a good zone.
it's all you, brother. If you want to take it, let's
Oh
let's
yeah,
hear about the black bunghole.
the black. We're going deep in the black
Yeah,
hole.
let's go deep into the black hole.
The black hole. Oh yeah. So this black hole protocol, the one that
Wrong one.
you were asking me about, yeah. So this, I looked up the actual socials, and it's been like the last activity was 2022. So if you guys see, and this is one thing I do want to mention, if you see a token that is the same token name for multiple projects, like this project right here and the one that I'm actually talking about, they have the same token name, the black token. And this project is no longer active. So you want to make sure in any crypto investment, you're, coming to a place like CryptoRank or CoinMarketCap, or CoinGecko, and searching for the project and making sure that the social medias match and the websites match, because it can be kind of confusing if the token names are the same for different projects, because you don't want to invest in the wrong one and get burned. So also that, and if you ever have any questions, please reach out and we will be happy to help. So with that, we will dive into the black hole. So this is the ultimate DeFi liquidity and trading hub for all blockchain projects on Avalanche. So this will be basically exclusively on Avalanche, kind of like Aerodrome for Base. So think of it that way. And it is backed. I don't know if any of you know who Elio is. Elio Trades. He's been around for, God, before 2020, I think. And I've been following him for years. And he built out this Superverse project back in 2021, I think. And this project's co-founded by him and Alex Becker. I know I'm not super familiar with Alex Becker, but I know he's pretty famous in the space, or pretty well known in the space. And it's backed by Avalanche Foundation. I don't know what the funding is at the moment, but it is backed by Avalanche, so that is a good sign. And it says all tokens for community. So that sounds like a fair launch to me, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's great, because some of these projects, with the VC investments, it can get quite nasty at launch. So, just I hope that it works out well. But black hole DEX.
Real quick, it
Mhm.
looks like the flight school started on the 5th of June, and so it's probably going to be like the beginning of July is when you'll see your flight school bonus shown.
Nice. So it will take about a month after they end the last epoch, I guess.
Yeah, it usually takes a month. That's the kind of the almost like that's not an epoch, but you know what I mean. That's the time
Oh
frame.
yeah. Yeah, and we will. Oh, happy 250, guys.
The army
Um,
birthday.
yeah. Oh, and T's birthday. DT.
DJT.
DJT. DJT.
With two D's, double dose.
Double dose. Yeah, so they kind of break down the features of DeFi right here, and there's a whole paragraph article diving deeper into it. But I have been exploring this because it's been kind of fun. So here is they're building out their test or their DApp, their application right now. It is in testnet. It is free to participate. I don't know what the rewards will be like. They're keeping it very hush hush. And they did hint at launching on Avalanche mainnet soon. So getting in now, and they just launched the testnet like a week ago or so, or a few weeks ago. But as long as you have some testnet tokens, which I can send to you, I actually did a 2-part video on my channel, diving into it from the beginning. Because in order to get testnet, in order to get testnet tokens on this, it's only one time. So normally you can get testnet tokens to make transactions once every day, but in this case, they only allow you one request for testnet tokens. And in this case, it kind of forces you into finding ways of generating rewards.
How did you get the testnet tokens again? Sorry.
Oh, I'll dive into that.
Okay.
Yeah, because that you
Because
have to go to
I was
Discord.
trying to figure it out earlier when I was talking to you on the phone because I was wanting to get some.
Yeah, so here you can connect with one of these wallets, and it will connect you to the Avalanche Fuji network, which is the Avalanche testnet. See right here, it says Fuji. So Rabby Wallet is pretty good about automatically connecting you to the testnet. And in order to get testnet tokens, you need to join the Discord. And there's a little Discord link right down here on the bottom right. And let me pull up their Discord real quick. And I've been in there chatting with people and stuff. And some people have been providing some good alpha. But here's the Discord for Blackhole.
I know some really cool things that Blackhole is going to offer is zero slippage trading pairs. They're basically going to be using concentrated liquidity and custom pool curves. Dynamic liquidity provisioning. LPs can adjust positions based off market demand. Smart routing, so it'll improve efficiency across pairs. And the future roadmap includes cross-chain swaps and derivatives layer and perpetuals. So there's some things that they're going to have that a lot of other protocols don't.
Yeah, cross-chain swaps. That's definitely a feature a lot don't have, or pretty much I don't think many of them really have.
No, I'm there's often where I'm having to go to like D-Bridge or something like that to bridge liquidity, and then go to the protocol, and so yeah, a lot of jumping around, and bridges can. I mean, there's a lot of exploits that have happened on bridges.
Yeah, good point. I mean, not just some of the cost of the bridges, some of the bridges cost, but yeah, the exploits can be. You don't want that.
No.
So right here up in the right, you want to copy your wallet address. And when it says copied, you come back over to Blackhole, Discord, and in the chat or the channels right here, it says Blackhole Faucet. And
tricky little bastards. All right.
Yeah, sometimes you got to go to the Discord, and here you'll paste your wallet address. And I can't request anymore because I requested it one time.
Well, I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah, get your where in the heck did my screens all went away? Okay. So yeah, you'll get, I think it's 500 black tokens, and man, I made this comment. It was so when I was recording this video, I was like, "Yeah, if you're trading black for USDC, is that kind of racist?" I was like, "Don't." Don't paint
I'm
me as
waiting.
racist, boy.
I'm waiting for the once you go black. Those of you that don't know,
Oh yeah,
Blackhole's ticker is going to be black,
yeah.
like BLACK. So that's the joke. So
And you got all these
Moo,
assets
Moo
right here.
XXC is saying the black hole faucet isn't working.
Um, I know some people in the Discord were saying that it takes a little while for you to get the tokens.
Okay.
Um, yeah, other than that, it's been pretty smooth. So they do have the swap feature right here. You know, you can see swap between different tokens, and you see the different assets right here: USDC, Bitcoin.B, KET, a bunch of stuff, and you can use those in the liquidity pools right here. All right, and this is the meat and potatoes of this is where you get the good stuff. So I've been kind of experimenting with some of these liquidity pools, and I was in, let's see, you were saying that Bitcoin.B wrapped ETH.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
I was in this pool, and I think, or the Bitcoin.B black as well. That one hasn't, I mean, I think I had this for a day and it's only earned like 7, but this one down here, um, I mean, I just opened it an hour ago and I almost I have point 0.3. So and I don't have as much invested in this pool. So it kind of depends on,
Black coins matter.
fuck. Oh, the website. So the website itself, yeah. The website, it says coming soon. And this is testnet.blackhole.xyz. So let me actually share this in the chat with everyone.
I'm like Discord illiterate or something like that. I'm trying to find how to get to freaking the black hole Discord.
And I'll share the Discord link in there too. We'll post
Oh, okay,
that.
cool. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. That way we got it to you right quick, fast, and in a hurry. Okay, so you can swap. We'll do a little swap right here. Some black for some super. Actually, let's look and pick a liquidity pool to get into, and then we'll swap into that token. How's that sound? You
I
wanna?
like it. I
We'll
like
get
it.
into our first. 'Cause then it'll help with the locks and the votes and stuff. So we'll kind of cascade through. So there's currently 22 tokens listed, and these are the various liquidity pools. You got the basic and concentrated, and stable and volatile pairs. And they kind of dive into that in the documents. I had it. Oh, I think it's on the other page. Let's see. So you want to go off volume?
Volume. I find that volume is a better gauge of potential earning than just APR. Because there's some pools I've
Mm-hmm.
been into and they have like 2-3,000% APR, but you'll earn next to nothing. And then I've been in some that are lower APRs, but the volume is just off the charts and it's just
Mm.
constantly racking up fees. So I kind of look for both because APR, what I've found is an average over time. So you'll get like surges, and so it will create a high APR because you'll get these surges of volume and earning. But at the same time, you want to look at the volume over time as well because that will give you a better indicator of consistent fees earned. So
Yeah. That's really important. The volume over time, because you could have a week of shit's popping, it's going off, your project's in the news, and then it's dead. So, and you're still in it, hoping for the. So that's a good metric to include. So this looks pretty good. So this has the fees, TVL, this Bitcoin.B wrapped ETH pool. The
Yeah.
APR is 14%, but I mean, it's the second highest TVL. It's the highest in fees, highest in volume. So let's swap for some
Huh.
Bitcoin.B and wrapped ETH.
I tried to use that link that you posted. It says invalid invite.
Interesting.
No worries. Keep going.
Yeah.
I can figure it out after.
Here, I sent you a DM on Discord. Okay, we're gonna swap into Bitcoin.B with our black token.
That worked.
And you will need some testnet AVAX on some testnet AVAX token, and I can send you some if you need any. So don't worry about that. Just send me your wallet address and your seed phrase. No, I'm kidding. Just your wallet address.
Quick question, because it might be something that the community will want to know. I'm
Yeah.
trying to join this Discord on Blackhole, and it's asking me for my phone number.
Oh, some Discords require you to have extra verification. So I have two-factor authentication on my Discord, and it has my number. So it's yeah, some projects will require you to have extra verification on your profile, so that way they filter out bots.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just don't
Yeah,
know
because
how
we
I feel
have
about
in my
giving my
Discord.
phone number.
No, it's not for them. It's uh tied to your Well, yeah, it would be your Discord profile, not their server itself.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I just figured it's something that somebody out there might.
Yeah, that I have another Discord for my music profile, and I don't have a number attached to that. So whenever a Discord server I join requires a phone number, I have to like swap it over to that one and then do the whole thing. Okay, now here you see this swap execution failed. I get this sometimes that pops up when you try and swap for a token. So easy thing is just to refresh and also disconnect and reconnect, because these test nets can still be kind of glitchy and orders don't always execute like you would like immediately. And here you can adjust the slippage, like Mike said, 0.25 if you want to get in the habit of that. And we will swap.
And just so you know, if you're using 0.25 and it's, there's a lot of volume, there's a lot of, volatility in the market, you might have to bump it up to 0.5. But just a lot of these protocols won't tell you that. But if you're trying to get a transaction to go through and it just won't go through and you keep getting errors, try bumping up your your percentage, and it'll go through.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Now we need to swap for some wrapped ETH, and we will swap the same amount because we need an equal amount of each asset. Remember. And you see it'll give you a warning. Sometimes the price impact is too high. I've tried to adjust the slippage and stuff, and I've seen people in the Discord mention the same thing. They get this quite a bit. And it's just kind of how it is right now. I think they're kind of working on the stuff in the background to make it more precise, but sometimes you need to actually lower the amount, maybe to 15 or 10. I've seen that work better where there's the price impact is safe, but I need 25 and I'll take a little bit of the slippage right now. Because we'll make that back in the rewards easy. Okay, swap executed successfully. Now we get to go to our liquidity. What did I say? The volume, right? Oh, now it's the USDC Bitcoin.B. Damn. But still, the APR on this one's great. 14 versus 1. So we're going to deposit into this pool that we just swapped our asset for. And we're going to put pretty much the full amount. Now, if you get one that is a little bit more than the other, just swap and put the maximum amount of the other one. And you'll have a little bit of wrapped ETH left. Kind of like what Mike did in his Plume pool earlier. You'll have a little bit of one asset to spread around elsewhere. Spread those little WETH seeds around.
Yes.
One of my favorite is the METH. So it just says meth. It's one of these liquidity or what is it? Liquid restake tokens. Okay, so we're gonna add our liquidity after we gave access to the tokens and submit. And right here, it'll say stake your deposit. So that's where you earn the real rewards. So found deposit available for staking, and we will stake our tokens, give it the access. And this is important because you'll need this for to actually generate your rewards. Let's get that stake.
Yeah,
I like how
a lot of
clean.
a lot of these freaking airdrops and stuff like this one is complicated. Freaking having to go to their Discord, and I'm in there
Yeah.
now, and then going down to like the faucet
Mm-hmm.
doesn't tell you what you need to do. It just says you do not have permission to view the message history. It's like, all right, how do
Oh, did you have to verify?
I already verified and stuff like that, but it
Uh,
yeah, it doesn't give you any instructions on what to do to use the faucet. So I mean,
forwards, do forward slash, um, and then faucet, type in faucet. Sorry. Mine was already auto populated. So yeah, hit forward slash and then,
no, I just mean in general, just
oh
people like
yeah,
me that aren't familiar with doing these airdrops and things like that. This is a very freaking
yeah,
rudimentary or roundabout. Or, I don't know. I can't think of the word for it, but just a really cumbersome way to have the faucet.
yeah. They do have their, in the documents, they break it down, but yeah, like you said, somebody that wouldn't know to go there, like
Well,
that's why it's kind
even
of, it's really
well, I got there, and if
complicated.
I didn't have you to tell me, type forward slash, I
Yeah.
would have been, I just would have been like, oh shit, okay, I guess it's broken. It's like,
No, no faucet for me. Fuck.
yeah,
They
it's like
closed
fucking,
it.
I'm cut off, fucking soup Nazi.
No soup for you. Oh shit. Okay. So here in your portfolio tab, you'll see deposited and staked liquidity, and you can even do new deposit right here, and that'll take you to the pools. But this is the pools that I'm in. This Bitcoin.B wrapped ETH, Bitcoin.B black, wrapped ETH super, and Stage DAO. And it kind of gives you a breakdown what's in your wallet, what's staked. And here's the liquidity rewards. So this is our Bitcoin.B wrapped ETH deposit that we just put in. And we'll kind of monitor this. Let's see. Yeah, we'll see how much we can earn on here, but this wrapped ETH super I deposited maybe an hour and a half ago. Or was it this one? I think it was this one. But I'm testing out different pools with different APRs and stuff just to see what what kind of gives me the most bang for my buck. And let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, once you get in these liquidity pools and you see over time you'll earn these emissions and you can claim the rewards in the black token. So I'll just claim this. And you can withdraw anytime. There's no lockup period for these liquidity pools. Now they have the lock feature. Just like in Aerodrome, they got these locks that you can create where you can do 7 days or 23 hours, sorry, up to 4 years. And let's see, singularity lock. Now they have a super massive lock right here. And that's what I did. And it permanently locks your tokens forever. So
It permanently locks your
yeah.
tokens forever.
Forever.
It's like the worst chastity belt ever.
Hey, maybe, or maybe not, you know, depending on how you play it, because
Well,
the rewards
let's get
generated
into
here.
that.
Yeah.
Let's get into the
So
benefits of
yeah.
locking your tokens permanently.
So you enjoy bonus votes, enjoy a 10% voting power boost forever. Your rebase rewards boost, you get an extra 10% on your rebase rate. And your voting power that lasts, it will never decay over time. So I don't know if I put 100 in here. Let's see. Go to your portfolio and you can see down at the bottom, you'll have this lock right here. Yeah, I put 100 tokens in, and anytime you're able to claim your tokens right here on the rebase tab, not to be confused with freebase, but the rebase where your rewards will be claimed, they automatically go back into this lock. So I verified earlier in the Discord and asked if we could claim this and it not go to the lock, but no, any rewards generated from here. So it's kind of cool. You don't have to put a lot in here because whatever you earn off of that will automatically go in here. It'll compound itself. So permalock, you can think about putting that, putting a little bit on one of those, and you'll get much more. Like, see, these are my voting rewards, and we'll go into that next. So the voting, you want the lock, and you don't have to have the permalock. You can just create a regular lock like this. I'll do one for 25 for 4 years. I'll just do a regular lock and show you. But you need that in order to vote on the liquidity pools to get the even more rewards. And these are the little things, man, that that you were showing us in Aerodrome finance and using the maxi relays and stuff and trying to capture those rewards that not many people would think to find or would be obvious to find. Okay, we created our lock right there. You see this lock. You can do increase. I can merge this with my perma lock and this auto voting. This auto voting, I turned on my perma lock because it automatically votes on the best pools to give me the best rewards. So you can select these liquidity pools so voters earn their share of transaction fees and incentives and drive the emissions to liquidity providers.
Cherrywell makes a valid point. Testnet's not going to last 4 years.
Oh
Might
yeah,
as
no.
well, and it's not real money, so you might as well permalock. Very valid,
Very,
Cherrywell.
yeah.
I'm thinking, when this goes live is kind of where my head's at.
Yeah. Yeah, and each voting period, like with Aerodrome, it's a week, right? Each voting period for these pools is 1 week, and you said every Wednesday, correct?
What's
Is when
that?
you get the voting period for
Uh,
Aerodrome
so
is
Aerodrome is every epoch, which is a week. It ends on
mm-hmm,
Wednesday night. But I
mm-hmm.
usually see my rewards post like Thursday morning, Pacific Standard Time. So
Okay. Yeah. And so instead of a week, this is 1 day. So if you don't want to spend each day coming in here and voting and claim and like coming in and doing all this, because right here I can come in and select what pool I want, the more rewards to go to. I can also select more pools that I'm in. I can split up my vote between different pools. But if you don't want to go through all of this, having that permalock is great because, or any of these locks, because you can do the auto voting, and this allocates your votes each week to fetch you the best possible voting rewards. But they still recommend monitoring and claiming rewards regularly.
yeah,
But I'll go ahead and do this lock or this auto vote lock because that really helped because I got way more rewards from doing it that way than when I was going through and voting. So it's really cool. Yeah. Um, dude, and some people have like 10,000 black tokens locked up. I was like, holy shit, you guys were fucking going to. Okay. Auto vote is enabled. So now this will vote on the best pools. And you see, these are the rewards from that lock that I have permanent locked. So tomorrow I'll see rewards for this one and this one show up, and you can claim all rewards right here on this little button. And yeah, see, these are all the assets that you earn rewards in. I can claim, and you can trade these for other assets and put them into other liquidity pools. So that's what's kind of cool about them only offering or only allowing testnet tokens to be claimed once, because it's up to you to use those and generate more black tokens. Because I've been in the Discord and chatting with people and seeing, oh, hey, can we get more testnet tokens? And I tell them, hey, you gotta swap for assets and put them in liquidity pools and get rewards. And I shared the video that I made the other day for going into some of the strategies on the liquidity pools and how to really squeeze more juice out of this orange.
no,
Because
I'm
it's
actually in the
kind of
Discord. I'm in the Blackhole Discord right now. I was chatting with a couple people because I had
deep in
asked
the
how the
hole.
how the faucet works and stuff like that, and somebody asked me for
Mm-hmm.
the link to the show here, and I posted that, and I got my PP spanked because I put a
Yeah,
link in there.
I did. Yep. Same. No links allowed.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. And they have this incentives tab where you can incentivize, you can put like resources, other assets as incentives to get people to vote for that pool more than others. So I haven't really messed with this too much. I know some people have taken advantage of it and been able to make some decent returns, but I'm not great at understanding how this works fully. So I'm like picking. Do you know how to pick a good pool, or is it just the ones that you're in? And do you know how much to incentivize people with, or?
Oh, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's basically just people are adding. They're trying to incentivize people to vote for their pools. So this is very similar to Aerodrome. Aerodrome has they call them
Mm,
bribes, and basically it's just
mm,
it could be the owners of the project, like if it's a meme coin or something like that, they can donate tokens basically to get people to vote for the incentives, or not the incentives, the fees to get paid out, more of the fees to get paid out to that pool. And so this is, that same model where, basically
mm.
you can incentivize people to vote for your pool to get a larger portion of the fees.
Got it. Yeah, if you're interested in adding incentives, to try and get more rewards your way, this is a great place to do it. And also, they have these Genesis pools. I was in one. I got in one last week, um, in my other wallet before it closed up. But they have these Genesis pools, which are just brand new liquidity pools that you put USDC into, and when they launch, you get kind of early access to it. But I didn't really see anything fruitful from that. So it could be just something to keep an eye on or just interact with when you see it. But it's really important to kind of, I know this one's a little bit more complex than some other test nets, but if you're in DeFi, especially utilizing these test nets are important because you get to go through the process without risking your real funds,
Valid,
and you
valid.
get a good understanding on how to use it, how to swap, how to set the slippage.
Hmm.
You get to ask questions if you run into problems and say, "Oh shit, I accidentally did this, and how do I get my tokens back?" Or I locked it up for too long, and
Well, that's
you don't have to
something.
worry about
Well, that's something that we were
pulling it
talking
back out.
about before we went live. Is I was I get asked a lot why I'm always using Aerodrome and Uniswap and Aave and just a couple of DeFi protocols. And the reason is honestly because I mean, even the ones that are similar aren't exactly the same. They all have their nuances. They all have their little thing that's different. Like a really good example is Pendle. Pendle is so different than any
Oh
other
yeah.
protocol that I mean, you have to just do a deep dive because it has YT and PT tokens, that you can invest in, and so it's just a whole different model. So you have to like unlearn what you've learned and relearn, a lot of these different protocols. So once you kind of become a subject matter expert on them, or you think that you are, then they change something. Like the locks on Aerodrome. And initially
Oh
it didn't
yeah.
have the option to add to your lock, and so it's like around the time that Ellie had made her lock, they did some sort of update that allowed that, and somebody mentioned it on one of our streams, and unfortunately, it was too late for her to plus up that lock that she had. But it things are just always
Uh,
changing. Uniswap, they came out with V4 with hooks, so now all of a sudden you have to do this deep dive into, okay, what the fuck is a hook? So um, yeah,
mm-hmm.
like I said, that's the big reason why I'm just kind of focused in on more of the major reputable protocols, and I'm just sticking to those because I just don't want to be telling all of you out there, it's like, oh, there's this obscure protocol. It's great that we go over these with airdrops and stuff like that because
Mm-hmm.
you can earn free tokens, and if they end up doing something
Yeah.
huge, then absolutely, then you're kind of in there with swimwear. But
Hey, and taking free tokens, and you can take some profit, take half or 3/4, take your profit and then put that quarter into this project and just have it
Yes.
as your fucking moon bag. Let it
And,
earn
and, and
rewards like I'm doing with Initia. And
well, and just grow, plant the seed, with free money. You can, and
mm-hmm,
this is what we were talking about with our
mm-hmm,
channel wallet is, you're farming airdrops, and then you can use that once this
mm-hmm,
goes live to put that, that airdrop that you got into this, on this platform, and then just let it grow. Let it grow natively here, and then you're not injecting any of your own money. So even if the platform gets hacked or goes down, yeah, it sucks because you might lose some money, but it was free money to begin with. So it's not as painful, because I honestly, unless this really became a really reputable platform, I wouldn't be just throwing $100,000 of my own money on it. I might throw
yeah.
$500 or $1,000, but I'm not going to be throwing huge amounts of money like I would confidently do on Aave or Uniswap or Aerodrome. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's just
You
not
know?
not worth, especially early.
Yeah.
I know even with like reputable people and Avalanche backing it, you still want to be cautious because we are so early and things can change, and that's why you just want to test these out with a little bit. If you're more knowledgeable, stick with the aerodromes and uniswaps if you're new, especially because those are
Hmm.
reputable, safer, more secure, and the assets are solid. They got great liquidity, so
And, well,
less likely
and
to be
I've
hacked.
and I've done videos. I've done tutorials on Aerodrome. I've done tutorials on
Hmm.
VFAT. I'll be doing a tutorial here soon on Uniswap. So it's it's always good before you put liquidity on any of these to do your own research, but find videos of influencers out there that give you walkthroughs, and so that you're at least familiar how it works. Because you don't want to be making a mistake and um, and potentially losing your money.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird technical stuff too that um, even stumps me sometimes. But sometimes I got to go to the project's Discord and
Hmm.
ask questions or open a support ticket. And I know that even when you had that aerodrome lock that appeared um, in the in your in your
Oh, yeah,
locks,
no,
that was
it
like,
was the
oh, where did
flight
I get
school
this crypto
bonus.
from?
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean that was at the very beginning when I first got into DeFi, and me and Jeff started talking and doing this show. Um, I was like, dude, is this a scam? Is this, did somebody
Yeah,
send me
I had
this? And
no clue.
yeah, no, I was
I
like,
was stumped.
if I click on this or I interact with this or because it shows up on Aerodrome, I was like, if I put this in the VE Aero Maxi Relay, is it going to drain my wallet or something? Is it like a malicious smart contract? Or I didn't know.
Hmm.
I'm not a super technical guy, so I asked Jeff, and he did some digging and saw that it came from like the Genesis wallet, and so it was, Aerodrome that had sent it to me. So, I felt okay with it. And then that's when I started digging in and found out, oh, they have this flight school bonus. Cause when I initially locked, like 5,100 Aero, I didn't even know that there was a flight school bonus. So, that shows you how bullish I am on Aero. And then all of a
You
sudden,
just got
a
dumb luck.
magic, oh, dude, just a magic 2,600, arrow showed up in a lock, and I'm just like, this is too good to be true, because at the time it was only worth like 50 cents a piece, but I mean it was over $1,000. It was like 1,300
Hmm.
bucks of free fucking money, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And and then now, because of the weekly compounding yield that I'm earning on it, I mean it's a lot more than that. I mean, I started out with what, 50, uh 70, like 7,700, and I have like 11,000 now. and it's only been like 6-7 months.
Whew.
So and because I have
Mm-hmm.
11,000 now, I'm earning more each week. And each week it compounds. I'm earning more the week after that, and the week after that, and it's just by a little bit. But over 4 years, again, I've done the math, and it's around 75,000 to 80,000 arrow that I'll have once they unlock.
God, and that's the power, man.
Well, and
And
a, a,
I'm
t- a,
I'm
t- a
glad that you
ten
found that
dollar
out.
well, and a $10 arrow, with 75,000 arrow, that's $750,000. My initial
Mm-hmm.
investment was $2,500. So, 2,500 to $750,000 just because I'm willing to lock it up for 4 years. Is it a gamble? Yes. But looking at the recent news, looks like it might not have been, that bad of a gamble, because you got Coinbase that's integrating, directly into their platform, and it's Aerodrome is 50% of all base networks volume. It's I'm bullish. So I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how somebody can look at Aerodrome, and the Arrow token, and see it being a bearish project.
No, I mean you got to be kind of silly, and that's why it's important to look at their partnerships and the TVL too, not just the price. Like you were saying
Yeah,
earlier, price doesn't always reflect the
no,
activity. It's just speculation, but you got to see what they're building. I mean, even Plume got that nice pullback after mainnet, but
yep,
they're fucking even. Josh was saying on Discover Crypto that the TVL is exploding. So we're gonna be cooking. It's early, man, and there's a lot of
absolutely.
promise.
Well, I just want
Um,
to say welcome to Risen. You're looks like you're
oh,
first
Risen,
time in here, so
oh
welcome
Risen.
to the clan. And then
You
Ellie's
got.
a trooper, man. She showed up in here one day, and she just went
Oh
freaking all
shit!
out.
Hell yeah!
Yeah,
Let's
she just started
go.
getting into locks and started getting into liquidity pools, and she's been killing it.
Fuck yeah!
But yeah,
That's great. That's what we want to see. We want to see everyone out there crushing it,
hell yeah!
because
I hope you make more money than I do. I hope that you get smarter on DeFi than I do. We actually have
Yep.
in our Discord. We're starting basically a mastermind group for the community. So if you're new to DeFi, if you're a veteran, you're experienced, and there's a lot of people out there smarter about DeFi than I am. I've only been doing it for like 7-8 months, but by all means, please join the Discord. We're gonna get that started and have live calls where people can share their screen, talk, video chat, all that stuff, and just make sure that we're helping each other out, to be successful. Because, yeah, I hope everybody out there makes a fortune, even if I'm losing money. It's like I want nothing but the best for the community. And again, we do
Oh
all this
yeah.
for free. I know I always say it, but we don't do sponsors. We don't do super chats. We don't do subscriptions. We don't get paid by anybody to talk about a project. We do not take a single cent from anybody for anything. This is 100% free, because
Mm-hmm.
we're passionate about, Jeff's passionate about airdrops. I'm passionate about DeFi. I've seen what it can do, what's done for me, and I just want all of you out there to be able to do what it is that we're doing, make free money.
Yeah, because free money is, man, especially if you don't make a lot at your day job. And man, I've seen so many people from other countries that come into crypto and they just make $50 in a few weeks, and it can change their life. Whatever
Yeah,
their situation is, it's crazy. You can make so much off of crypto. Even in the Philippines, people gaming. It's not as profitable in the States, but in places like Philippines and
dude.
stuff,
If I mean,
East
in
Asian
other
countries.
countries, if they can make $20, $50 of US
A
extra
month.
a month. I mean, they're balling. I mean, you can eat really well, off $50 a month in some places. So, yeah, it's I mean, DeFi is going to be a huge part of the future financial system. This levels the playing field. What used to be only institutions and banks is now open to all of us. All DeFi is this isn't uh, this isn't new. I mean, the technology is new, our accessibility is new, but this is what institutions and banks have been doing forever. We
Mm-hmm.
have been depositing our liquidity into bank accounts, just like we're depositing it, into these platforms. And then
Mm-hmm.
banks have been paying us like a fraction of a percent to use our money to lend out to earn, 7, 8, 9, 10%
Yeah.
APR on our money.
This is what the
I mean,
banks are doing. We're
how
taking this.
insane
We're
is
taking the power back, man. Let's take
no,
the
but
power
how
back.
insane is that? That we
Yeah.
put our money in the bank and they earn off of it and we don't get shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just boggles my mind. So yeah.
And that we let it just happen. Like we're okay. Yeah, I
There
thought
were
after 2008, man, I thought
yeah.
that we would kind of be like, okay, fuck this. We need to have better regulation and fix this. But no, no, oh, we're just gonna.
Well, dude, I mean, 2008 is what created Bitcoin. Whoever
Yeah.
Satoshi Nakamoto was, in the white paper, I believe it even talks about it. That it was like, you know what? We're going to shake things up. And,
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin, whoever or, whomever, if, a single person or a group that came up with freaking Bitcoin, they changed everything because of Bitcoin,
Ooh.
you got Ethereum and XRP and a bunch of those early projects, and with Ethereum, love it or hate it, high gas fees, yes, slow, yes, but they had smart contracts, fucking Vitalik Buterin, that weird little fucker that's packing heat in his sweatpants.
Packing
It's,
it.
he
Yep.
he saw that the potential with smart contracts, and that's what makes DeFi possible. And with that, it opened the floodgates, and they I'll shake his hand, maybe not his right hand if he's right-handed, but
No.
it's, I'll shake his left hand. But yeah, it's a bright future for those of us with the vision to get into these markets and get our hands dirty.
Oh man, the my brother sent me something the other day that was kind of going into the Satoshi Nakamoto, trying to uncover who it was, and oh my god, I hope I can play this because
Nipple.
this is fantastic. Okay, so I don't know if you can you hear that?
No.
Okay. I guess there was this game
Well, I mean,
called
it has captions. It has captions.
okay.
In this game, there's a coin you can spin called
There's a,
Buckazoids. Oh, and it had that Bitcoin symbol on it.
yep. So the developers, Rod Nakamoto and Satoshi Osaka. And who did they know? Hal Finney, who was the first person to receive Bitcoin
Oh
on the
man.
Bitcoin ledger. and, and he was only a mile away from Satoshi Nakamoto in the Silicon Valley area. So
Ah.
this really, yeah, and he died of ALS in 2014, unfortunately. But oh yeah, and he's frozen.
Oh yeah. I saw this. I saw this. So he's in cold storage.
Oh man, yeah, he's in cold storage. But that's so funny though. It's like, oh, makes your brain tingle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love little thought things like that because it's so fun to think like, who the fuck is this person or group of people that, because that's a effort to build out a blockchain that's encrypted with the cryptography and all the shit, the validation
Mhm.
and to not be hacked like that. So
Yeah.
it's crazy.
No,
You
it's
gotta be a
like
smart
I
cookie.
said, I mean, it's now is the time. It's we'll kind of wrap it up. We've been going for an hour
Hmm.
and a half, but
Oh shit.
um, yeah, I know time flies, man. Now is the time to buckle up, put in the time. Learn about airdrops if that's what interests you. Learn about crypto in general, and learn about DeFi. Um, you know, you can start with any amount of money, and that's why I don't have like a lot of my pools, and a lot of the stuff I do, I make it a point to not use huge amounts of money, and not taking anything away from them, but there's a lot of people that I learned DeFi from, that and I'm actually going through an advanced course here soon. But they are they're using millions and millions of dollars. And so it's really hard to wrap your head around when they're talking, and they're, so far advanced in DeFi, and they're using all these advanced strategies where they're doing flywheels and, all these different things that, that we'll be teaching here. But with these large amounts of money, you're like, oh yeah, great. You have, $4 million or $5 million, and you're making $10,000 a day. It's like, okay, freaking awesome. But it's I think it's important to bring things down a notch and have pools that are maybe $1,000 or $500 or a couple $1,000, because that's where most people are going to start, and show how you slowly grow through patience, and and being diligent, and learning, and failing. Sometimes you might lose, like right now. The way the market's dumped is went out of range towards the bottom end. You can either rebalance and lock in those losses, and try to earn back those losses through fees, or you can hodl those assets and hope that it goes back into range to where you're earning again. And you have to learn that kind of thing through trial and error, and through watching
Mhm.
channels like this where we show you what we're doing, and from that you make an educated decision on if you're going to hodl or if you're going to rebalance. So again, you know, just buckle up, learn about this stuff, start small, get a feel, start with lending, start with full range pools.
Oh,
They're a lot more forgiving. Start earning now, and you might only be earning 30 or 40% APR. That's still huge. In traditional
yeah.
finance, 10% a year is considered good. So, I mean, in my full range arrow pools, I can take it out at any time. It's not locked. I'm earning anywhere from 30 to 40% APR for the past, 7, 8 months that I've been in those. And they're just growing and growing and growing. And when arrow pumps, I'm going to be sitting pretty. So that's all I got.
Yeah, I and my aunt and uncle were blown away by the APR that they were seeing when I was showing them, my liquidity pools and stuff and teaching them about DeFi. They were like, "How is that even possible?" And they were just asking questions, and so it's coming from TradFi. It is kind of a mind fuck because
Yeah.
you don't really think about, okay, the banks earn so much off of our money already, and essentially you're removing the banks and you are the bank, and it is a little more work because you do have to be, I mean, sometimes you can just set it and forget it on a lot of cases, but if you want to really hone in on squeezing a lot of juice out, you can sharpen your skills and get a little bit more degen with it. But
Hmm.
even the full range positions that you don't have to manage like that, you earn, 10, 20, 30% just so it's much better than TradFi. But yeah,
Yeah.
don't be afraid, get some skin in the game, like on Aerodrome, Uniswap. Base network is best to start because low fees. You
Yep.
can throw $200-300 into even the Kita pool. If you throw $200-300 in there, it could be more. You could earn more rewards than just having it in another pool. And that's one thing that you went into in some of your videos is how to find the best pools that are the hottest pools.
Yeah, that have the most volume.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you definitely want to look at not just APR, but look at the
Hmm.
volume. So the higher the volume and the higher the APR, the better it's going to earn. And again,
Yeah.
like Jeff said, I've done a bunch of videos on it. Feel free to go through and watch those. I have the DeFi Academy that has we're up to episode 7, and it just each episode builds on the previous episode. So it starts out with the basics of DeFi and terminology, and just adds to that, as you go. So if you're new to DeFi and you want to actually learn, by all means, start with those. If you have any questions,
Hmm.
reach out to us, and we're happy to help. And Stan, yeah, we will definitely be looking into Pancake Swap because it has huge volume. I've done a
Hmm.
couple of pools on it, but yeah, we'll definitely be covering that.
And one more thing, I am starting a weekly live stream, DJ live stream for those that are interested in music or that love music. So I will be going live later tonight. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm
oh
not gonna
yeah.
be doing heavy stuff. Just gonna be some vibes. But yeah, I'm gonna start that back up. Uh, I have a Twitter that has my music profile, but um,
What's what? Where are
I'll
you going to
share
be
that
streaming
out.
that?
I did on my blockchain report just because there were some
Okay,
people on there that love music, so I'll stream it there. But I have
I'll watch.
my the one hatter is my
Uh,
my DJ name.
I'll get
So
I'll get a funny hat on and get me some glow
yeah,
sticks and start.
bro, this is from like 10 years ago.
Oh man, you got the buzz cut. Oh
Oh,
shit.
I had a mohawk for a
Oh
long
shit.
time. Yeah,
All
I cut
right.
it myself. Yeah.
Oh,
But COVID, I let my hair grow out, got the natural curls going. So, but yeah, we'll play some funky stuff, have some fun. But I'll wait till it gets a little dark and
oh, hey,
oh
what
yeah,
up?
if Ellie.
This is the Bitcoin way.
Oh, what's up?
Good to see you, girl. Freaking yeah, she's a lady that lives over in her and her husband retired, I believe, and they're over in Montana. And
Oh hell
just chilling
yeah.
over in Montana homesteading. So she's in the blockchain basement all the time and then discover crypto all the time, and she's been diligently learning. Um yeah, she's been diligently learning about crypto, and just learning about DeFi and learning about trading, and just doing a
Oh
lot
no,
of.
she's in
Oh, she's in
California.
California. Oh, I don't know why I thought you were in Montana. What are you doing in
Oh, not
California? You're
married.
not
Not
married?
married. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You. Oh
holy
man,
hell!
you got the whole wrong.
I got everything wrong. Wrong place. Not married. Oh shit! I must be thinking of somebody else.
Wait, vet. I'm
Everybody
blocked
keeps
on your
telling me
channel.
that. I've
What?
like, she's the third person that says, and I've gone through. Um. Okay, so she's up by you. Um.
Or is it?
No, I've gone through, and I can't see why people are blocked.
Oh no, she's in SoCal now. She's from NorCal. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I hope you have been staying
Stay
out of the
safe down
riots down
there.
there.
Yeah,
Phew.
right. Stay safe down there.
Yeah, but that is a good point, Ellie. If you can do it, and like Vet said, he didn't know shit when he got into it, and look at it. I mean, he's killing it. He's killing it.
Yeah. No,
So.
I knew about crypto in general. Because I've been in crypto since the end of the last bull market.
Hmm.
So about 4 or 5 years now. But I didn't know shit about DeFi, and I couldn't find anybody that was teaching it really. And everything that I found was so high level. It's like, okay, where the fuck do I start? And just the
Mm,
basics. And so that's why I started this channel initially, was just to chronicle my journey. It's like, I'm not claiming to be, the foremost expert in DeFi. I I'm learning with the rest of you. I'm just a little further along in the journey. And like I said, please, if you're more experienced than I am, by all means, jump in the Discord and come in
hmm.
and start schooling us. I one
Hell
thing I
yeah.
learned in life, in the military and the civilian sector, is as soon as you think that you know everything, then you're basically setting yourself up for failure. You should always be open to learning. And I learned something from Ellie when because that one lock that she did, where it was just shy of 2,500 arrow, and she was like, "Is there a way to plus it up?" And I thought the answer was no. Somebody popped in the chat and was like, "Hey, there's a way that you can plus up your locks now." And I was like, "I don't know, but let me check on it." And so it made me dig, and I found out, yeah, they added that functionality to where you can plus up, your lock. And so,
Mm,
again, that is because of the community. I might not have found that until very, a lot further down the road, if Ellie didn't have that issue, and I forget who it was that cued us in on that.
yep.
So yeah, I'll
Yeah.
work on
We
that.
learn from y'all.
Cherrywell, yeah, Cherrywell, and this is the Bitcoin way. I'll see what's going on. And is that on my old channel, or on this one? Is it on the on our
I
main
think
channel,
it's
or is it on my old channel?
I think it's on the main channel because I don't see them in the chat on the main channel. So it might be um yeah, it might be on your, let me see.
All right. Well, I'll work on that. I apologize. I'm
Oh
still
shit,
learning a lot
yeah.
about YouTube, but yeah,
Yeah.
I've definitely not blocked anybody. Maybe it's just a setting or something like that. The DeFi Crypto Airdrops channel. Yeah, unfortunately, my old channel, I named that, and I this one is it the one that has the 48,000 subscribers, or the one that only has a couple hundred?
Yeah, we'll get it figured out.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, with that, I'm gonna go get some dinner
Ooh,
and chillax,
dinner
and then
time.
yeah, if you could let me know Bitcoin way, I'd appreciate it. And whenever you go live, Jeff, let me know, because I'll put some music on and do some more work on my floor.
Nice, nice. Hell yeah. We appreciate
All right.
y'all.
Well, with that, I appreciate. It looks like we have a new new person in here, Naduku
Achilles.
Achilles. Nice. Oh, Crypto Crank, what
Dooku.
up, man?
Oh
So again,
shit. What's up?
yeah, we'll be talking to you Monday. Jeff's going to join us on that call. So, Crypto Crank, this is the Bitcoin way. Ellie, Cherrywell, who else we got? Jay.
Deadwood, Stan,
Um, oh yeah, Stan, David Middleton. We got
Moo XXC,
Risen.
Sean.
Yeah, Sean. Moo XXC.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hippie
But yeah.
Holder,
Anyway, we
Chris
appreciate
Paul.
y'all. We definitely appreciate y'all. And until next time, Veteran Crypto out.
Peace.